I'm going to be telling you today about my top 3 BMWs of all time. I'm Aiden, and you're watching God Thanks. So of course, my first one on the list today is going to be one that I've personally owned, and that is going to be the G82 BMW M4 competition xDrive. These days, and I think this has been true for the last 2 years or last year, the max power you can get out of that motor is going to be around 523 horsepower. When I had mine, it was 503 because that's the maximum you could get back then. But that car, the one I had at least, could make 503 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque from the S58. What a fantastic motor. Other than the fact that it was a gas hog and sometimes made some strange noises, I thought it was a pretty amazing car. The all-wheel drive system, to me, is something that you should absolutely get if you're looking at a G80 or a G82 competition. The transmission's fantastic. I think if you want a more engaged driving experience, the manual's an okay thing to get, but if you're looking for the absolute peak performance, you definitely go with the 8-speed automatic. Fantastic, great looking car. Mine was a strange color combination that you don't see very often, which was the yellow exterior, and then it was the Asmarina blue interior with the carbon bucket seats. Anyways, it was one of the most exciting, fun cars I've ever had the pleasure of owning or driving, and it was ridiculously fast. So yes, number 3 on my list is going to be the G82 M4. Fantastic car. Now, number 2 in my list, of course, we're sticking with M cars in this because they are way better than AMGs, is going to be the E92 M3, specifically the coupe. Yes, because I think the sedan looks a little funky, and if you get a convertible, I just never understood the convertible side of it. But out of the S65 V8, that thing made 414 horsepower and an eye-watering 295 pound-feet of torque. They were not very fast off the line. In fact, they just weren't very fast cars at all. What got me and why it's on this list at all is the way it sounds. So even though of course, the G82 is going to be faster than this car on every single level, it's an overall better car. To me, the E92 has a special place in my heart. You could either get it with a 6-speed manual transmission, which is the way you should have gotten it, or you could get a 7-speed DCT, which when I drove it, it wasn't an amazing experience. Anyways, this car sounded ungodly, and people would stick exhausts on them, which made them sound even crazier than they already were. Only problem with them is reliability, which is why I have been very skeptical when it comes to buying one of these things. It's just because I'm not willing to do rod bearings, so probably won't own one unless I just have infinite money and didn't care. But overall, it is definitely my second favorite car. I almost said favorite, but that's reserved for a more special vehicle. So before we get to number 1, let's talk about some of the honorable mentions when it comes to some of the other BMWs that didn't quite make the top 3, but I still love nonetheless. First honorable mention is going to be the F92 BMW M8 competition. If you don't want a normal looking sedan, normal in air quotes here, but a normal looking sedan, and you wanted something a little more slung back, a little prettier and crazier looking, then the M8 is where you want to be. Powered by the S63, this thing makes 617 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. And man, was this thing fast. I think the M8 is an incredible looking car. And if you ever get the pleasure of driving one, please do, because they're basically an M5 with a prettier outside. Evo said if I didn't add this honorable mention to the list, and really he wanted me to put it at number 1, but I'm going to put it in honorable mentions and just say it, is going to be the E46 M3. This thing looks timeless. It's a fantastic looking car, but this thing's driving experience is fantastic. 6-speed manual, naturally aspirated motor, and it just looks fantastic. You will never be able to convince me that the E46 M3 is not one of the best looking cars produced in the last 30 years. And it's really crazy to say that that car came out 25 years ago. But yes, it is definitely one of the best looking cars BMW has ever made. It sounds pretty good as well because it's naturally aspirated, and it's an amazing driving experience because you row your own gears and naturally aspirated. You couldn't ask for more if you're a car enthusiast. Now, my number 1 on the list is going to be the BMW M5 CS, which is what everybody says about BMWs, I know, but this thing is literally the peak of what BMW has ever done. It combines modern technology along with their ability to produce insane power from a motor, all while doing it in luxury. Now, of course, the M5 CS, you were forced to get the carbon fiber bucket seats in it, but regardless, it looked insane. These things were not cheap. It made 627 horsepower, 10 more over the regular M5. and it made 553 pound-feet of torque. And of course, there were other mods to this car that made it a lot more performant than the regular M5, but this thing was considered the fastest sedan in the world at the time of its release, of course being beat by the GT63 SE performance. But this thing didn't need a hybrid motor to make it go that fast. But this car was insane. It is still insane. It is still one of the fastest sedans in the world, powered by a gas motor. The M5 CS overall, like I said, is just a combination of everything that BMW can do when they put their hearts into something, and they spit out that car. And it's fantastic. And I've never met anyone who hates that car. So good job, BMW. Anyways, those were my top 3 BMWs, along with some honorable mentions. If you guys like the video, make sure to hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more from us, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.